Good Saturday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I will be taking you through Christmas week with an Arctic plunge dropping south from Canada into the lower 48, as well as a potential winter storm going towards Christmas Eve and Christmas Day next weekend. If you guys are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. I cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics and everything in between. So everybody do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. Looking here at the alerts across the United States, fairly quiet after what was a very busy week here this past week. And now that we've gotten into the weekend, we're still tracking a little bit of snow across the Northeast here through the day today with those winter storm warnings and those lingering winter weather advisories. But largely, we're seeing the system quieting down here across portions of upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and then up here into Maine as we get through the afternoon and into the evening hours. So we got the snow rocking and rolling across the portions of Maine, getting down here to northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and into portions of Quebec there as well, going through the noon time frame here today and into the afternoon. That'll be starting to move up to the northeast into eastern Canada and exiting portions of Maine as we get into the evening hours here, with additional snow amounts anywhere from a few inches, around 3 to 4 inches back across upstate New York, getting through Vermont, New Hampshire here, and with some heavier pockets of snow still being found here across portions of western Maine and southern Quebec here, and then on up into far eastern Canada. Additional amounts over 6 inches there are possible, so we'll still be digging out from some of that snow out there here with those snow blowers and those shovels as we get into the day on Sunday. If you guys are still with me here on the video, definitely press that like button down below. It helps me get this information out to more and more people, so I definitely appreciate all the likes out there, guys. Thank you so much. But going here into Christmas week, things really take a turn here. We're going to be turning our attention to a very strong push of Arctic air moving from Canada into the lower 48, especially the eastern two-thirds of the United States from December 22nd through the 26th timeframe. We have much below average temperatures favored across the eastern two-thirds of the country, but back to the west across California and much of the Pacific western areas here, we're going to be talking about much above average temperatures here across those areas, with the ridge of high pressure all the way up to the Aleutian Islands, and then going all the way through the rest of the month of December, largely toward December 30th and the 31st time frame. We're still going to be holding strong with that Arctic push of air across the eastern two-thirds of the country during that time frame. And we're going to slowly start to expand some of this warmth a little bit farther to the east across those Rocky Mountains as we get towards the very end of December. So looking here at the active track of storms as well, we got an active period of weather across the Pacific Northwest and diving down here across portions of the northern plains. We have a couple of these clipper systems bringing likely some snowfall, especially with all that cold air out there across the desert Southwest and portions of the Pacific Southwest here, from California into portions of Nevada, getting into Arizona, maybe even into Texas as well. We're going to see some below normal precipitation across those areas. And again, above normal precipitation from Maine all the way down the east coast to Florida here, with a couple storm systems as we get here through the Christmas holiday time frame. So looking first here at the cold air up to the north, we got all this cold air bottled up into western and central Canada here and all the way up into the Arctics. We do have some cold air here at the surface all the way down into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast here behind the system that's bringing all that snow across the Northeast here today. But look at, as we get into early next week, we're going to start to organize this cold air a little bit more across Western Canada on Monday, December 19th. And then by the time we get here into the day on Wednesday and going into Thursday, the middle of next week here, just preceding the Christmas holiday, yeah, we're going to see that very strong push of Arctic air from Canada dropping south in a big way across the central, southern plains, and eventually the southeast here as we get into that Thursday, December 22nd timeframe. So let's look at the temperatures here at the surface on Saturday here. This is this afternoon on December 17th. We have high temperatures across the Dakotas, getting into Minnesota there in the single digits here in the teens. teens, some 20s being found across the Great Lakes here and across interior New England. But down to the south, relatively mild temperatures for this time of year across Texas, the deep south here, maybe some 50s down here into southern Georgia, getting up through the Carolinas, and again, very cold across the west here as well. But by the time we get into Monday, early next week, on Monday, December 19th, we're going to start to see all that cold air starting to organize across western and southwestern Canada, with those temperatures into the double digits below zero for afternoon highs there up to the north. We still have below zero high temperatures into the Dakotas, back into Montana here with that new snowpack across those areas. And looking at the wind chills as well during the day on Monday, we got wind chills back up here into southwestern and southern Canada into the negative 20 to negative 30 degree range. So definitely some very cold air there, and even some negative teens being showed with wind chills across the Dakotas, getting into Montana, western portions of Minnesota, and maybe even as far south as northern Nebraska there on Monday afternoon. But look, as we go into the day on Thursday, really Wednesday into Thursday here, middle of next week, we're going to start to dive all of this cold air farther to the south. And these are your afternoon high temperatures potentially going into the day on Thursday. Minus teens, if not near 20 degrees below zero for high temperatures across parts of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and back across the inner Mountain West and much of southern Canada as well. We got high temperatures dropping into the single digits to near zero, potentially as far south as Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, portions of the Arklatex here. So things are going to be changing in a big way on Thursday. And look at these wind chills, guys. We have wind chills dropping back to 40, if not 50 degrees below zero, especially over that fresh snowpack here that we've laid out over the past week or two across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. And even some of these wind chill values on Thursday afternoon getting down into the negative teens and 20s as far south as Kansas, Oklahoma, the Panhandle of Texas, and even across the Missouri Valley here. So very cold air on the way as we head toward the middle and late portion of next week. And like I said, with that new snowpack here, with that cold moving over that snowpack further south, it's going to have a lot of potential to, reach its peak with those wind chills dropping back here to 40, if not 50 below zero, especially here around that Wednesday, Thursday, and even that Friday time frame here into the middle and late portion of next week. And then again, going into next weekend, Christmas Eve itself on Saturday, December 24th, we're going to see a very strong plunge of air all the way to the south to the Gulf of Mexico and even northern Mexico, guys, and into Florida. We're going to see those well below normal temperatures on Christmas Eve. And again, looking at the Christmas Eve high temperatures here, guys, mid 30s across central Florida, lower 40s down here, even into the Florida Keys, getting up into portions of South Florida. We got 30-degree highs across portions of Texas, all the way across the immediate Gulf Coast going into Christmas Eve here itself. And again, those wind chill values will be a little bit colder than these temperatures as well. So you have to take that into account as we get in toward that time frame. We're also going to be tracking a potential winter storm as we go in towards the middle and end of next week here in that transition period from the warmer weather to that Arctic plunge of air. We're going to be seeing a couple of different scenarios that could pan out here with this system. I'm going to take you through 3 different model runs to show you the differences of this potential storm system going into the middle and late portion of next week. So first here, looking at the European high resolution guidance, it shows a phased system turning negative tilt as we head towards that Thursday, Friday time frame here, just a couple of days before Christmas. Very strong polar jet and that subtropical jet phasing together and producing a pretty strong system here, and potentially a blizzard on this model across the Midwest and the Great Lakes. And again, that would put heavier snow amounts across the western Great Lakes, getting down through the Illinois Valley here, places like Chicago, Milwaukee, all the way back through Missouri. But then the difference here in the model from the European to the American GFS model is that the GFS is actually a little less phased and a little bit more progressive as we get towards that time frame here, and it drops that trough a little bit farther to the south, which means more snow for the portions of New England back through the Ohio Valley and portions of southeastern Canada, less snow for the Midwest and the Great Lakes here on this model run. And again, it lays out a swath of heavy snow from Tennessee all the way to Maine on this model run here for the GFS. And then the third model I want to talk about is the GDPS, or the Canadian model here. Again, it's taking a similar scenario to the European guidance, with a negatively tilted trough, a very strong polar jet dropping south here with that subtropical jet phasing together. And again, we're going to start to see heavier snow and a potential blizzard yet again on this model run across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and portions there of the Illinois Valley. And again, that would drop heavier snowfall across Ontario, all the way south through the Illinois Valley and parts of the Ohio Valley on this model run. So why I showed you all those models is that there's a lot of spread and variability here from the track of this system. So this model, the models that I was showing you, the track of this low pressure system could take a track through the Ohio River Valley and up through the central Great Lakes, or it could take a path here across the Mid-Atlantic and the Tennessee Valley and up off the coast here of New England, and that would place the heavier snow across New England. And again, vice versa, the other model run here, if it turns up through the central Great Lakes, would put the heavier snow back to the west. So there's still a lot of unknowns with the potential storm track from this potential winter storm as we go into middle and late portion of next week. So let's go through what we do know and what we don't know here. What we do know is that there is going to be a storm system. A storm system is coming, and there's also going to be two sides to this system. There's going to be a cold side with snow and a warm side with rain and thunderstorms here as well. But what we don't know here is quite a bit. We don't know the storm track here. Will it move up through the Midwest or the Northeast? And also, we don't know the storm intensity either, how strong the low pressure system will ultimately be. And that will also affect here directly those snow amounts or those rain amounts as well. So we don't know all these things. And again, we'll be tracking this here in the days to come as we get closer towards this event. But looking overall at the historical probability of a white Christmas, guys, it looks like here a lot of these white Christmases have been across the Midwest, back across the Rocky Mountains, and across the Northeast here on a historical perspective from 1981 to 2010. Those are the climate averages. And where you see those brighter whites and grays up to the north, that's about a 75 to nearly a guarantee of 100% chance of a white Christmas here. Getting into the medium blues here across portions of the Central Plains through the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic, that's about a 40 to 50% shot of a white Christmas. Again, for a white Christmas, you have to have 1 inch of snow or greater. And then again, back down to the south across Texas and the southeast here, for a historical perspective, a less than 10% chance of a white Christmas across those areas. So now looking at this, now looking here at the snow depth potential as we get into the Christmas morning and Christmas afternoon on December 25th, next Sunday, it looks like it's going to kind of take a very similar path to that historical average, with that snowpack up to the north across the Dakotas, across much of the upper Midwest, the Northeast, and the Pacific Northwest here as well. Some snowfall could be sneaking in down here into Kansas and Oklahoma, maybe North Texas and across the Tennessee Valley here. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, that overall storm track will be key as we head in toward the middle and late portion of next week. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Remember to drop the like down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, if you guys are new. Hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.